Hi everyone, Dr. Nemechek here. I want to discuss why certain diets can help with SIBO, or bacterial overgrowth. So, any of you have seen my book or my writings, I talk about the bacteria in the small intestine are birds and the bacteria in the colon are fish, and SIBO is when you have the fish, some species of them living up in the small intestine, and you'll have 10,000, 100,000 times the bacteria up there. And people will find that this diet or that diet kind of helps lessen symptoms, intestinal symptoms. And it's basically some of these different species are going to just thrive on certain nutrients. Now, carbohydrates in general, so sugars and starches, just these overgrowing bacteria just thrive on this stuff. But you'll have people with like tomatoes or spices or acidy foods like orange juice or coffee or chocolate or a whole variety of things that when they cut those foods out, they won't have as much heartburn or diarrhea or cramping or brain fog or whatever they feel, okay? Now, I've talked about using the medicine Reflexin. So what Reflexin does, and the only thing Reflexin does, is one, doesn't get in the bloodstream. Two, it only works in the small intestine. It doesn't work further down. And it can only kill the fish. The bacteria that normally live in the colon, it will kill them, but only if they're in the small intestine. It doesn't kill the natural bacteria in the small intestine. So you take Reflexin, it's twice or three times a day for 10 or 14 days, kind of these different courses, they're about the same, and sweep out the overgrowing fish bacteria, and you're left with the birds. And what happens 19 times out of 20, people, where it's tomatoes or spices or whatever, all these foods that bother them, it goes away. Okay? The only thing Reflexin can do is treat overgrowth, okay, in the small intestine. And so the diets are from a bacterial overgrowth. Now, those kind of diets are not enough to reduce inflammation substantially. They might help a little, like my joint pain's not quite as bad, but if you're wanting to try to cut off the leaky gut and all the inflammation that's coming out of that, okay, one of the things you can do diet-wise, and it ain't easy, is reduce your carbs to a ketogenic level. So typically less than 30 or 40 grams of carbs per day total. Okay, grams of carbs, less than grams of carbs. Don't worry about the fiber, just total grams of carbs, less than 30 or 40. It's hard to do. A slice of bread typically is 20, 25, right there. Okay, bagel, 70. Okay, average baked potato, 50. But if you can drop it down, there are two studies that I know of. So these were generally healthy adults, laboratory evidence of leaky gut, or what our term is intestinal permeability. They put them on a ketogenic diet, again, below 30, 40 grams a day, and the leaky gut stops. So you can starve these bacteria off, okay? And so if you've noticed, let's flip that around. If you've noticed, God, I have all these symptoms, and if I really cut out my carbs, I feel better. It's not because of ketones or something. You're starving off the bacteria of your overgrowth. You have SIBO. That's what that means. Okay? Now, if you can do that for a long time, great. A lot of people can't. They can do it for 6 months, a year, and then they can't. And then the bacteria start growing again. And so that's where you need Reflexin at times to help people through that. And so, if you're noticing your symptoms are getting better by getting rid of certain foods, you have bacterial overgrowth. And if you want to try to completely get rid of bacterial overgrowth and get some neurological recovery, you got to be at keto level, okay? Less than 30 or 40 grams per day. All right. Hope that's helpful to you all. Everybody, have a great day.